I say plainly, refusal is a weapon as sharp as the sword when wielded with discernment. The leader's strength lies not only in what he takes, but in what he refuses, for choosing shapes destiny. By denying weak ties, empty promises, and needless labors, a leader preserves ground for purpose and guards the reserve of morale. This restraint converts scattered effort into concentrated force, and spares men from fruitless toil and long exhaustion. You now scatter your energy. After 30 days you can marshal it into one decisive thrust that wins where others falter. List every commitment you hold and mark each by value, cost, and by whom it binds you. Reject the trivial promptly, say no to tasks that do not advance your intent or those that breed distraction. Assign single guardians to vital matters and forbid them other burdens, so their vigilance does not fray. Review weekly and strip one obligation that yields less than half its promise, and replace it with a safeguard. Begin this cleansing at dawn, preserve the promise I will name shortly, so the men see resolve. Once I dismissed an alliance that demanded many men for little gain and costly counsel. The ally railed, yet our granaries endured and our horsemen marched when war came, and our captains kept their nerve. Takeaway: refusal preserved the hand that could strike, not the hand that grasped at all. Measure outcome by readiness over numbers. Do not mistake refusal for cowardice. Error arises when one shirks decisive duties or when one refuses on whim. Track reduction: cut active obligations by 30% within 30 days and record time freed each week, and show the gain in capacity. Wield refusal as a blade, use it as carefully as any spear. As I promised before, I now give the methods to refuse without fault. I say no to weak bonds, empty vows, and needless labors. Deny distractions, preserve strength for decisive actions on the field. List your obligations, rank them by consequence, cut the lowest third, decline quickly, reserve time for the main aim. A commander once accepted every petition and found his battle line thin. His men labored on trifles while the enemy gathered strength beyond the ridge. When I urged refusal he feared offense, the flank was pierced before dawn. Takeaway: reject trivial pleas, gather strength, teach restraint to those who follow. Reject tasks that merely busy the hands. Common errors are fleeing duty and refusing without cause or judgment. Avoid them, test each refusal against the aim, explain reasons, show respect. You after 30 days will hold clearer priorities and fewer regrets in camp. Measure progress, count duties cut and hours reclaimed weekly, refuse one request before dusk. Delegation is refusal refined. I turn burdens into accountable tasks for others. Release tasks while keeping responsibility for their results and learning. This preserves will and trains subordinates, otherwise the leader becomes stretched thin and brittle. Assign clear aims, set limits, demand reports, reward competence, withdraw where trust fails. To refuse without rancor is the final art of command I practice. I guard tone and timing so refusals mend ties and keep discipline. Speak truth calmly, offer alternatives, set follow-up, acknowledge feelings, preserve honor all around. I measure by tracking 5 refusals and their outcomes each month. I practice one now. Soon I will teach the measured phrases that spare honor in refusal. Must refusal become a rule within your command? Refusal as rule preserves strength and sharpens purpose. When refusal is ritual, waste is contained and attention concentrates on decisive ends. Forge patterns that make saying no automatic. Refusal should be written into duty and habit. This secures choices against whim, fear, and flattery. When habit holds the line, men follow the rule more than a single man. Do name 3 clear exclusions for your unit. Do set a weekly council to review requests. Do require a short cost statement for every new task. Do assign a guardian to veto commitments beyond scope. I once halted a chase of a petty foe for the good of the campaign. I watched lesser officers demand pursuit, insisting on honor in every skirmish. I forbade the hunt, and our stores and men endured to fight when victory mattered. Takeaway: a single refusal kept the host whole. Beware two common errors and mend them swiftly. Do not confuse avoidance with prudence, test refusal by purpose. Do not let pride hide poor counsel, invite blunt reports. Measure your mastery by counting refused demands. Mark refusals weekly and aim to reduce wasteful tasks by 50% in 30 days. You after 30 days will have clearer aims and fewer needless burdens. As I promised, make refusal public and procedural. Do rehearse refusals in council and do teach juniors to refuse well. Ask your lieutenants tonight to list 3 tasks to decline tomorrow. Take this microquest and begin the ritual. The next lesson will show how to protect refusal from envy. Recognize refusal as the art of preserving victory. Guard capacity and clarify intent through measured refusal. Every needless promise disperses strength and delays decisive action. List all current promises, assign outcomes, and set a monthly capacity limit. Refuse requests that fail your outcome test without exception. Recall when I refused a cultured feast for the sake of readiness. My refusal angered courtiers but freed ours for inspection. 3 days later a collapsed fort halted a slower army. Takeaway: a single refusal preserved march and saved lives. Create a public ritual to decline without offense. I will teach it. A ritual makes refusal predictable and protects honor. When reasons are known, resentment lessens and trust endures. Thus refusal becomes governance, not caprice. Publish a brief refusal formula, train captains to use it, and document each denial. 2 errors hollow refusal and corrupt its practice. Error: abrupt refusal breeds offense. You should state reasons and propose alternatives. You now accept every summons. You after 30 days accept those aligned to outcomes. Reduce active commitments by 30% within 30 days. Do this now. Cross 3 low-value promises from your ledger. Refusal sculpts reputation. The wise refuse with courtesy. A courteous no preserves alliances and signals mastery of ends. Practice brief phrases of refusal, note tone, and rehearse delivery. Aim to improve graceful refusals to 70% within 30 days. Refusal must bring a substitute path. Offering an alternative sustains momentum and trust. When you deny, propose a delegate, schedule, or smaller task. List 3 suitable deputies, propose dates, and free resources. Now act, refuse 1 request and name its substitute. Refusal is a weapon I wield. My single refusal preserves the force for decisive action. A leader who accepts every task disperses strength and loses advantage. List 3 outcomes you must achieve this season. Do not accept tasks that do not further those outcomes. Ask each petitioner how their request advances the campaign. Send a plain refusal and propose an alternative time if needed. You now answer every call. After 30 days you answer only for victory. I refused a petition to join a border quarrel to guard my supplies. I kept my watchmen at the ford and fortified our stores. While others chased honors, my men crossed at dawn and secured the road. Victory was not the praise of many, but the ground we held. Takeaway: refuse flattering tasks that steal time from what wins wars. Error: saying yes from fear of displeasing elders yields fatigue and lost campaigns. Avoid by naming limits, rehearsing brief refusals, and keeping a rule book. Error: confusing courtesy with duty lets ceremony swallow purpose. Mark requests against your core aims and decline those that score low. Measure progress by counting refusals and reclaimed hours. aim for 3 firm refusals weekly. Set a gatekeeper to shield you from trivial summons. Train 1 deputy to triage requests and to hold a daily list for your review. This moment, refuse 1 non-essential demand and record the reason plainly. I will show how to refuse allies without harm in the next passage. Record the hours reclaimed and note 2 decisions now possible. Refusal is a weapon I wield as surely as the spear. The art of saying no preserves strength for battles that matter. When I refuse, I protect men, time, and the clarity of purpose. A leader must see which commitments drain the host and which nourish it. Choose refusal deliberately, do not yield to every plea. Decide before council which aims are essential. List all duties this week and mark those that advance the core aim. Ask each captain whether his task bends toward victory or distraction. Remove duties that neither train the men nor edge the strategy. Reserve the freed hour for preparation and decisive planning. I once held festivals and inspections until stores were empty and men were weary. I cancelled entertainments and drilled at dawn, the men regained strength and the stores endured. The camp readied itself and the general found calm in austere economy. Takeaway: refusal restored readiness and revealed the true path. Beware the error of timid acceptance, which fattens burden. Abrupt severance breaks trust and isolates allies. Measure progress by counting refusals, set a goal of 3 in 30 days. You now scatter effort upon many things, you after 30 days hold focus and a heavier sword. How does one refuse without severing ties? Framing refusal preserves loyalty and invites future cooperation. Acknowledge the plea and state the limit of your aid. Offer a smaller, specific help or a later hour. Do this now, name 1 promise you will decline before the week ends. I refuse more than I receive from the world. A commander's greatness rests as much in renunciation as in acquisition. To hold too many tasks scatters the spirit and weakens arms. By declining what drains, one concentrates force upon decisive ends. Later I will reveal the test that makes refusal sacred. List your obligations and mark those lacking strategic value. Halt promises you cannot sustain and preserve the weight of your word. Delegate tasks that consume time yet require no judgment. You now accept every tug upon your sleeve, you after 30 days answer only decisive summons. Once I accepted an envoy's plea while a campaign still burned. That night my men broke camp to aid a shallow cause. We lost momentum and gave ground where victory had been near. Takeaway: a single undue mercy may squander an entire advantage. A common error is false economy, hoarding duties to appear dutiful. Avoid it by testing tasks against strategic ends and honest cost. Measure progress, reduce non-essential commitments by 30% within 60 days. Do this now, strike 3 promises from your ledger and report results tomorrow. A refusal delivered without honor breaks ties, not burdens. Speak refusal with reasons, firmness, and an offered alternative. Name the toll, declare the priority, offer a smaller, timed aid. Practice once this week, record reactions and calmness gained. Refusal is soil in which wisdom grows. Guarded hours breed judgment and deliver sharper counsel across seasons. Reserve daily an hour for study, refuse sudden meetings then. Track uninterrupted hours weekly, grow them by 50% in 90 days. He who masters refusal masters the field.